Greetings to everybody. Welcome to our Zoom meeting. So I shall start with the first person who is in first, Felicia Chan from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. Today I have 5 questions.
Okay, fine.
The first one, are the 4 khandhas cannot be controlled and never ending?
The khandhas,
Are the 4 khandhas cannot be controlled and never ending?
which you mean by the 4 khandhas? There are 5 khandhas.
Yeah, because 5 khandhas. Sorry.
Well, they are anattas, they are natural phenomena. They're like the wind, the rain. Can you control them?
Okay, thank you. To overcome the pain and 4 khandhas, we must have strong sati. Is it correct?
You have to understand that you cannot control them. You cannot force them to do what you want them to do for you. If you try, you get dukkha.
Okay, thank you. The third one, are Sutapan able to see anicca, anatta in each element of the 4 khandhas?
Yes, he sees the 5 khandha as anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Is it in each element of 5 khandhas? Sutapan able to see anicca and dukkha, anatta in each element of 5 khandhas?
Yes.
Okay, sadhu. The fourth question, does Sotapan have any pain?
Physical pain, as far as the body is concerned, Sotapanna still experience physical pain like anybody else. Even the Buddha also experienced physical pain. But the mind is not, have no dukkha regarding the physical pain.
Okay, thank you. The last one, should I share merit after meditate?
Well, this is not the merit to share. It's for your own personal use. You share with dana. When you give dana, then you can share it. But these merits are not to be shared because you don't know whether you get it yet or not.
Okay, sadhu, thank you. Nas Bajan, sadhu.
Okay, you're welcome.
Sadhu.
Next, Rusli from Indonesia.
Evening, Ajahn. I have no question for tonight. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, Billy also from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'd like to ask, how do we motivate ourselves to do the practice?
Can you speak a little bit louder? Cannot hear you.
Okay. I would like to ask, how do we motivate ourselves to do the practice when we are lazy or feel demotivated?
Well, you should listen to Dhamma talks or read Dhamma books to get inspiration. Or if you can motivate yourself, just tell you that time is slipping by every minute. You're losing precious time if you're not practicing. And you don't know when death will come to you. When this happens, you don't know when you will have the next opportunity to practice Dhamma again.
Okay.
Good enough?
Good enough, Ajahn. Thank you.
Kok Seng from Singapore.
Tonight I have no questions. I'll be happy listening.
Okay. Anuraji, New Zealand. What time is it over there?
Hi, Ajahn. It's 2 o'clock.
Still 2 o'clock
in the morning.
You haven't switched your clock yet, huh?
Yeah, we have already.
You have?
It's summertime, yeah. So
normally it would be what, 3 o'clock?
No, it used to be 1 o'clock.
Oh, 1 o'clock.
Now, yeah.
Super.
So I couldn't, I couldn't join for some time. So yeah, been busy with work, and anyway, I've been trying to be more mindful during the day. So it's been quite beneficial. Tana, I saw a post that on your Facebook regarding the ego. So if someone says that I don't have ego, it's not really a truth, right? So a person can be only egoless if he's an arahat or is in jhana. Is that correct understanding?
Well, ego or the self is created by your thought, by your sankhara. When you meditate and you calm your sankhara down, then the thought of the ego or the self disappears temporarily. When you come out meditation out of jhana, you start thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Thinking about the thought as being a self. I am me because I think I am me.
Yeah.
But when you stop thinking, then the me disappears. All that is left is the knowing. So the real you is the knowing, which is not you either. It's just it's where you spring from. It's where the thoughts spring from the mind, the knower.
Okay.
So there's no self. Everything are natural phenomena. The mind, the khandhas, they are just like function.
Yeah.
The mind is the function, the knowing function. Sankhara, the thinking function. Sanya, the perception function. Vedana, the feeling function.
Yeah.
Vijnana, the consciousness function. They are just function. They just nobody direct them, tell them what to do. They are driven by different influences, that whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So what you want to do is to understand and to not be attached or try to force them or control them.
Yeah.
You might be able to do some time, but not all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when it comes to the point where you can no longer control them, the best thing for you to do is to let them be.
Yeah.
Such as when you have painful feelings, for instance, start to let them be.
Yeah.
If you can calm your mind and just merely knowing, then your mind will not be affected by the painful feeling, which arise from the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tanada. Thank you.
Melinda Liu from Singapore.
Hello, Tanajan. It's also the same. Like you have just answered to Anura, and there's a follow-up question like from Felicia asked about the five skandha. Like I just got the answer. Ajahn said sometimes we can make effort and manage the mind to sila and doing good things, and sometimes the perceptions or certain sankhara can be quite overwhelming at that point where we just observe and knowing. Is that right?
Yeah, what else can you do? If you try to fight, then you can get dukkha.
There's a saying, the more we resist, the more it persists.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but anyway.
Like example, the more I resist, for example, let's say if I have anxiety and I resist, I don't want anxiety, and the anxiety tend to stick on.
But there are ways you can deal with the anxiety, because you know the cause of your anxiety is your thinking. So if you can stop thinking, then your anxiety will disappear.
So there's effort on our part to continue practice, coming back to the breath or coming back to present moment. And
Yes.
every time we put in effort, and every time, sometimes we may not be able to clear the obstacles. Sometimes So we have to continuous practice. Is that right understanding, Ajahn?
As far as the mental phenomena, we are lucky to have mindfulness, because with mindfulness we can control them. Maybe not permanently, but we can stop them from time to time. Like when you become restless, agitated, if you have mindfulness, you can stop it from being restless and agitated. You can calm it down. And we are fortunate to have the Buddha's wisdom that enables us to completely get rid of restlessness and agitation. Because according to the Buddha, our restlessness and agitation comes from our delusion, not seeing things the way they should be, seeing things opposite of what they are. So if we see things as they are, then we will not be restless or agitated, because we will not try to do something impossible, like controlling your body, for instance. So we are fortunate to have the wisdom of the Buddha, and also his teaching about mindfulness. Mindfulness will calm our mind temporarily, and wisdom will calm our mind permanently. But we cannot stop our mental function. They still go on thinking, they still go on perceiving, but they won't do it in a way that will cause any dukkha for us.
So our job to practice is, for example, if the body feels sleepy, then when we practice, we go against the habit. And
well, if you want to practice, if you want to gain result, you cannot be lazy, you cannot be sleepy. Like when you have to go to work, you cannot say, I'm sleepy. You get fired, right? You won't get your salary if you don't go to work. So you force yourself to go to work, right? When you have to go to work. Same way, if you want peace of mind, you have to work hard to stop your mind from thinking. If you're lazy, you won't be able to do it. So you have to find ways of overcoming your sleepiness, such as eating less, for instance, or staying in a place where it is a little bit scary, for instance. Then your sleepiness will be dealt with, eliminated. Okay.
So is it correct to summarize that it's not? There are two levels. There are levels where we have to work on, which appears like control sleepiness and control, but at the same time, at some point, it will be beyond our control. Is it right to see this way?
Well, you have to sleep sometime, right? You cannot go on not sleeping forever. So there's a point in which the body will need to sleep, then you have to know that. So the Buddha said the maximum amount of time a body needs a day is about 4 hours a day for meditating, for monks anyway.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Gavin Danapong from Vancouver, also Washington.
Hello, Ajahn. I have no questions today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Saw your dad this morning. Tell him you're coming over, huh?
Yeah. Early next year, hopefully.
All right. By the way, his dad is a monk here in Wat Yan. Also. Well, next, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan. I don't have any questions tonight.
Okay. Go Lim from Malaysia also.
Good day to you, Tanajan. Yes, today I have a question in regards to right speech. of the Noble Eightfold Path. Thus, cultivating a good metta will be a good practice for right speech, as in preventing us from unwholesome speech.
I think you should cultivate ubekha.
Okay.
Once you have ubekha, you have metta, karuna, mudita also. So the right way is to cultivate mudita by do meditation, get the mind to jhana, then you get ubekha. When you have ubekha, you will have metta, karuna, mudita.
Got it.
Okay. Because if you do otherwise, you are just trying to force your metta. When your mind is really not, has no ubekha, it still have this craving and desire for things.
Right.
So it will be difficult for it to have metta sometime when you wanting something and somebody cross your mind. When you get angry, instead of having metta toward that person, you can get angry at that person.
Yeah.
But if you have ubekha, you have no cravings. You don't have any desire for things from people. So so whatever they do won't bother you.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Got
So
it.
meditate, develop
Meditate.
mindfulness.
Yes.
And the more ubekha you have, the more metta you will have.
Right.
Okay. Next,
Thank you,
Yokbe from New York, my friend of
Yeah, I've heard.
Malaysia. Okay, I'm speaking to Yokbe now. Okay, Yokbe, you're from New York.
Yes, good evening, Ajahn. Thank you for the teaching, because I have very happy to, because I am using my mindful and my karma, and so I feel much better. Because the point is my question is because I'm still working, I using my mindful in the train. I still using the half hour, 45 minutes. And nighttime, no, I'm sorry, it's a morning time. I'm using 1 hour to do my meditation. Now I feel much better. It's my mindful.
Good. Keep doing it.
Thank you very much for the teaching. Yeah, thank you.
Try to do more mindfulness if you can. You can do mindfulness all the time during the day. Whatever you do, be mindful with what you do. Don't let your mind go think about some other thing.
Thank you for the help. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Genso from Penang.
Good evening. No question.
No question from you. Okay. Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Tanajan. No questions from me tonight.
Okay. Karen from San Jose, California. Anything?
Hi, yes, I do have a question. Good morning, and yes, the time changed here. It's 5:19 a.m.
A little
back
bit
and forth.
earlier or later? Later.
Early, it's 1 hour earlier now.
1 hour earlier. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have a question. Do you have any rule of thumb on how to make a decision? Especially a decision that may affect other people or not. And there's a lot of greed. It's about money. It's a legal thing. And I need to make a decision about what to do. And it's really hard for me to figure out which way to go. And I'm trying to not make a decision that will hurt anybody, but yet also not do anything that will hurt my practice. And I don't want the money, but I'm kind of stuck in this family thing. And anyway, do you have a rule of thumb on how to make decisions?
Well, whatever you do, as long as they are not harmful to you or others, that's the thing you can do. If you do something that is harmful to you or to other people, then you shouldn't do it.
And so by harmful, they wouldn't like it, but they would not be hurt. They would have less money, maybe, I would not benefit by them getting less money.
That's okay. That's not harming them. Right?
Okay.
You don't hurt them, like, physically or mentally. And mentally, you cannot help because of their own greed. They're not happy because they want more and they cannot get more. And this is something it's not your fault, it's their fault.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I
Yeah.
thought I should clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So be sure that you don't hurt yourself or other people with whatever you do.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Next, let me see who's next.
Johanna.
Yes, good evening, Ajahn.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Ajahn, I want to ask, can we experience piti or sukha outside of sitting meditation, Ajahn?
Yes, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's not always there. Because sometimes the mind can go from start to the fourth jhana without passing through piti. But sometimes you do. So it's not important whether you get it or not. The goal is to get ubekha, to have peace of mind, have calm.
So Ajahn, if we do meditation more often, then we feel happier and peaceful. I mean, if we feel happy outside of sitting meditation, is it piti or sukha, the happy feeling?
They are both, I guess. Just don't worry about the label. As long as you're happy, that's good enough.
Okay. Because I feel after experiencing more sukha, my practice seems to be stagnant, Ajahn. Like I'm not going anywhere. Maybe Ajahn have some advice for me. What should I do?
Well, you don't want to go anywhere. That's the purpose of meditation, to keep you still, to keep you safe. See,
Okay.
when you go do something, you usually hurt yourself or other people.
Yeah.
So if you can stay at home, stay put, then you won't hurt anybody, yourself or other people.
Yes.
So that's my purpose, to make you happy, being where you are, not having to go after things to make you happy.
Yeah, I don't know why I think this way, Ajahn. Like my practice is not going anywhere.
Well, that's what we want. We don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah,
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? If you want to go mentally, the next level, you have to use wisdom. See? Wisdom is there to stop your mind from going anywhere. See?
Okay.
When your mind wants to go shopping, then you should use wisdom. That shopping is dukkha for you.
Okay.
When you want to go buy something that you don't need to have, this is dukkha also. Because whatever you get, it will become a burden for you. You have to look after it. And when you lose it, you can become sad. So it's better not to have anything that you don't really need. Have only what you need, which are just the four requisites of life. Food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. That's all you want to have. The rest, they are all dukkha because they are anicca.
Yes.
So when your mind wants to go somewhere, you have to use wisdom to stop it.
Yes, Ajahn. So the feeling of being stagnant, I think it is a delusion, Ajahn, right?
That's right. So you use wisdom to eliminate the delusion, to see things as being sukha, as being good for you, when in fact they all will hurt you sooner or later.
Oh, yes. Okay.
All right. So you don't want to go anywhere. You want to stay calm for as long as possible.
Okay.
Stay calm all day long. Meditate all day long.
Oh, okay, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Alvin from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have any question today. Thank you.
All right. Sri in Czech from Vancouver. Canada, BC, British Columbia.
Not Washington. Ajahn. Hi, Ajahn.
Hello, Ajahn.
Any question?
So you go.
Question. Yeah, then Ajahn, like during the meditation, when I learn how to ignore the thought and going back to my meditation object, like this method is exactly like when we come out, right? During our daily activities. Like let's say if we hit with like unpleasant things, it's the same method that we'll be using. Go back
That's
to the
right.
meditation object.
Just focus on your meditation object. Or focus on what you do. Don't be distracted by things around you. Things that you don't really need to know. Just know what you need to know. If you're doing something, you need to know what you're doing. But you don't need to know about other people's saying things or doing things. If you can keep your mind focused, your mind will not be hurt by things around you. If you cannot stay focused and you start to go and grab things around you, and they can hurt you because some of them you like and some of them you don't like. So when you grab something you don't like, then you're not happy.
Okay.
So it's better not to pay attention to other things. Just pay attention to your body, your movement, whatever you do.
Mm. Yeah, so that's why like I thought now like meditation is like a training ground, like for our mind.
For you to do it in your daily activity.
Yeah. But then when we sit in meditation, it's also the same thing, like how to train our mind not to be distracted.
Yeah, just
by
to stay focused on something, on one thing. If you're moving around, focus on your body. Or if you cannot, then you use a mantra instead to help you stay focused.
Okay, that's why this is what like Buddha taught us, like by like practicing, like this is how we get rid of our sufferings, lamentation.
But something comes from our own mind, reacting to what we see and hear. If we don't react, then there will be no suffering. If we just leave what you see, what you hear alone, they come and go. You cannot always tell them to be nice to you, for instance, to give you happiness. Sometimes they can be bad to you and they can hurt you sometimes. But if you don't react to them, your mind will not be hurt by them. Even if they're trying to hurt you, they can only hurt you physically, but not mentally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So keep on practicing, whether you're sitting or see when you sit, you have the perfect opportunity to completely calm your mind. But when you're not sitting and you're moving around, you can only do half of it. You can do mindfulness, but you cannot get samadhi from when your body is still moving around. But you need mindfulness when you sit. So you need to use mindfulness whether you're sitting or not sitting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Ajahn.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just now you said that we are lucky that we have mindfulness. Do you mean like it's because we are human being? Like
no, well, I mean lucky because the mind can be tamed by mindfulness. That's what I mean. We're lucky to have mindfulness, but a lot of people don't know that they have this mindfulness to use to tame their own mind. Instead, they use other things like drugs, alcohol, sex, entertainment to calm their mind. But then we can do it temporarily, and then they become addicted to them. So we should switch from using things like, things like the sensual object to calm our mind, to make our mind happy, and use mindfulness instead. And then once we know how to use mindfulness to calm our mind, then we know that we need to use wisdom if we want to calm our mind permanently. Because wisdom, mindfulness can calm our mind from time to time when we are mindful. And when we're not mindful, then the mind will become restless or agitated again. So we need mindfulness first. Once we have mindfulness, then we develop wisdom to teach the mind to see that everything will hurt the mind sooner or later, because everything is impermanent. Everything is not under the mind's control. You cannot control them all the time. So if you want to have happiness, use mindfulness or wisdom to calm your mind. Don't go to a movie, don't go to a party, don't go visiting friends or whatever. You might be happy briefly, and after you see them for a few hours, you want to split. You don't want to stick around anymore because it becomes stale. I saw today the news. They opened up the airport in New York, I think, and people flying over from England to meet their relatives. Oh, they're so excited, But I can imagine just a few days they want to fly home again. But they don't think like that. They think only the moment when they first see each other. They're so excited. They're so happy. But after staying with them for a few days, you become boring, start to become boring. And you think of going home.
Even quarreling, Ajahn, sometimes. Like
Yeah, sometimes you quarrel, you start to quarrel.
That's so true. Partly
it's better to make yourself happy by meditation, calm your mind.
Exactly.
And it's so simple and so easy. You don't need you don't need money. You don't have to fly to go see people. You don't have to go out of your home. All you need is just have mindfulness. So.
Right.
Mindfulness comes with practice.
Yes, because we don't have them. But for some people, they already have some of them. So among us, we have different level of mindfulness. Because in our past life, we have developed differently. So if we were fortunate in our past life to have a meditation teacher teaching us mindfulness, then you can pick up meditation in this life very easily. For some, it's very difficult for them to meditate because they haven't practiced any mindfulness previously. That's why the Buddha said to have done good merits in the past is a blessing, one of the 30th blessings. This merit can mean dana, sila, or meditation, or mindfulness. If you have developed this thing before, you'll find it easy for you to do in this life. If you used to give, you'll find it easy to give now. If you used to keep the precept, you'll find it easy to keep the precept. If you used to meditate, you'll find it easy for you to meditate. If you haven't done it, then you'll find it very difficult because you're starting from zero.
Oh.
Okay, so our past life more or less determine our ability in this lifetime, what we can do. Some people used to play the violin so they can play the violin very quickly. When some used to play the piano, Some used to draw, they can draw beautiful pictures without having to be taught. This is because this thing stay with the mind, comes from the mind, not come with the body, comes with the mind, which didn't die from previous life. So maybe you might be a Beethoven or Mozart. When you come into this life, you might be able to compose music, beautiful music.
Mm.
If you used to be a Sotapanna, you come back and continue on meditating and developing wisdom.
Mm.
Okay.
So keep training. However hard it is, don't be discouraged. Just think that wherever there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Just keep pushing yourself. Can-do attitude. Somebody said you need to have the can-do attitude. I can do it. Then nothing is impossible, right? Once you can do it.
Yeah.
If the Buddha could do it, I can do it also. If Ajahn can do it, I can do it also. Because they are human like us. They have the 5 khandhas like us. They have the mind and body like us. All right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ajahn, for the encouragement.
Yeah, for the encouragement.
Next, Alfredo from Brazil. Alfredo Obeka. Your Buddhist name is Obeka.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I love Upeka, but I feel I'm practicing man. At twice I noticed that the things is not is not have the things not much important, not my mind is more important than the things. Sati is more important that I don't explain. I don't explain. I don't know how to explain what is not participate the life more intensive. Perhaps not have intention. It's difficult to explain what is Upeka is significate.
Yeah, it's something you have to experience in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't worry about explaining. You don't need to.
Yes, thanks, man.
It means you cannot be a teacher, that's all. You cannot explain things.
Yes. Well, the monks use the I have here. One moment. The monks use this for taps his né? Is anatta, is the training of anatta, né, Bante?
Anatta, what is it? I cannot tell from the screen. What is it that you're showing us?
The monks have to cover his face.
His face.
When he's do a Dhamma talk, he's cover his face.
Well, which monk? Buddhist monk or Christian monk or which monk?
Buddhist monk.
Buddhist monk?
Theravada's monk.
I never seen that.
He have things that he cover his face.
It's called Talapat.
It's we call it the fan. It's a piece of ornament things like a piece of poster, you know, a poster, but it's decorated so it's royally given to monks. These are concept. So when they're giving blessing, they have to put this in front to maybe, I don't know why, but we don't use them in the forest tradition. These are more for the city monks.
Not have the time of Buddha.
No. This is the Thai forest tradition. Don't use anything like this, because they don't make any sense. Why do you use it for? To block your speech. Yeah? You want your speech to go clear and easy, right? You don't want anything to block your speech with.
Yes.
Maybe because this supposed to be for monks when they give talks to the royal family. They're not supposed to be looking at the royal family, so they have to have something to to block their eyes with.
Yes.
Because in Thailand, the king is considered like a god. You're not supposed to be staring at him.
Yes.
This means you're not respectful. To be respectful is not to look at him. It's to always look down.
Yes.
Maybe this is the reason. I don't know.
Yes. I think it was the representation of anatta, but it's not. No?
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks,
Is that all?
Bante.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Kenneth, professor from Switzerland.
Good afternoon, Tanajan.
Okay.
Today I would like to ask a question related to the first precept. It's kind of a family question because my daughter, she lives in New Zealand, and recently her and her husband, they got a big property and they started to acquire quite a lot of animals like sheep and pigs. And I asked her, what are you going to do with these animals? And she said, oh, we're going to eat them. I'm not quite sure how to advise her in these matters. She doesn't seem to understand the kamma aspect of killing animals. Her husband is a hunter. He goes hunting as well. So that's something she just got into when she went there. I just wondered if Tanajan has some advice on how to approach this for a close family member, if I can say anything to improve the situation. Thank you.
Well, it's difficult to tell something that people don't ever think about. To them, is to live is to kill. See? So they have this animal mentality. So maybe you can explain to them that in Buddhism, the Buddha teaches the different level of mentality. So to be a human mentality, you respect the life of other people, whether human or animal, because we all love life just as much. And we don't want anybody to hurt us. So we should hurt other people. Even for food, there are other ways of providing food for us. We can be a vegetarian, or we can eat dead animals if they die natural. If somehow they should die by whatever cost, then we can eat their meat for that. This will maintain our mind on a higher mentality. If we eat for the purpose of survival, we are no different from the animals. Right? The wild animals in the wild, they have to kill to survive. So they have to kill other animals for food. And if we human don't have this right understanding or right view of things, we might fall into the same level as animals. But we are fortunate to have the wisdom of the Buddha's teaching to teach us that we don't have to be animals and we can be human or higher by not hurting other people or animals for our livelihood. And if we want to go higher than being human, we can by being charitable, by being helpful or kind to other people. This will lift our mentality even higher than human beings. But whether they can accept this or not, I don't know. So maybe it's a touchy kind of thing. You have to see whether they're interested or not. If they're not interested, then they might think, "Oh, you're trying to what?" I can't think of the word, but you're trying to get them.
Or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But should they ever ask you about Buddhism or something like that, then you might be able to talk to them. Or even killing, maybe just pose a question: what happened if you happen to be the sheep? How would you feel like if the human will come and take your life for food?
Yeah.
Then maybe she might start thinking about that from that point on.
Yeah, I can, when I talk about it, I do see a little bit of a beginning of understanding, but it's I have to be very sensitive, as you say, and not turn them off. But I think your comments are very helpful, Thanajan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the Buddha said when you want to hurt other people, you have to think, what about if it's the other way around? We find excuse to hurt other people, but we don't have any excuse for other people to hurt us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Thanajan. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, Vivi from Indonesia. Vivi.
Ya, Ajahn. Namo Buddhaya, Ajahn.
Go ahead. Can hear you. Okay.
Okay. Ajahn, actually, I am having a trouble concentrating for the past few weeks, because I'm facing a little problem. And I'm trying to be patient, but in meditation, this problem appears in my mind very strongly. Like diving in water and the current of the water is very strong. Then I direct this strong thought into my body. Instead of the mind spinning around in my problem, I better point it at my body. So the mind look at the body from the head to toe one by one quickly. Maybe after 10 rounds, the mind start to be weakened and start to settle down. Here I see this turbulent mind is negative talk. This is where the resentment, hatred, anger come from. This is the cause of the suffering, which makes suffering is dukkha, and what is dukkha of the dukkha who make me suffering. If I am not carefully, I will fall into this negativity. Is this correct, Ajahn?
If you meditate, this is not correct. Because when you meditate, you want to calm your mind. You don't want to be distracted by whatever appears in your mind.
Yeah.
You want to focus on your meditation object only. So when you're not focused, you go after the images that appear, then you're not meditating anymore. So you will not get the result from meditation.
So this is the...
It's like watching TV. You're just watching TV instead of meditating.
Watching TV in my mind.
Yeah. your mental TV, mental television. You want to turn it off. You
Maybe,
don't want to,
but turn it off and didn't see anything. All right.
just focus on your meditation object, whether it's a mantra or watching your breath. Come back to your breath, come back to your mantra, and ignore whatever appears. Okay?
Yeah.
I think this is your problem you've been talking about. Every time you tell me about meditation, you always see something, hear something, or you never stay focused with your meditation object.
Yeah,
All right.
I have so much movie.
Okay.
So much movie in my mind. Okay, Ajahn.
All right. Next, Katarina, Universal. Where are you from, Katarina?
Thank you. And I was coming once already. I'm from Switzerland. And usually I just follow you on Facebook, but today I wanted to come up also with a question. Like you actually. Thank you. So maybe first I will touch the subject that you just discussed with the couple maybe from Malaysia recently. You were talking about the stillness of the body for reaching samadhi and about mindfulness during the day when we are moving, right? So usually we talk about samadhi, sati, and panya together. And as I know, panya can be reached when we have samadhi. So does it mean that only in sitting meditation, still meditation, we can get the wisdom and kind of sati, the mindfulness, is like an intermediary, while our daily activities, we try to keep that connection to concentration, to samadhi, and this is why we can only be mindful, but we cannot be in samadhi?
See, when you're moving around, your mind cannot be completely still because it has to control the body movement. It has to direct the body's movement. So the mind has to be working, not like when you're sitting. When you're sitting, then you don't have to direct the body to do anything anymore. So the mind can become still, completely still when you're meditating and sitting posture. But when you're not sitting, you still need to develop mindfulness because you need a lot of mindfulness to use when you sit to really calm your mind down. Okay. So this is mindfulness. The other half is your wisdom. How does the wisdom appear? Wisdom doesn't appear from meditation because when you meditate, you stop thinking. You stop everything, and what you get is just peace and happiness from being peaceful, from the mind being peaceful. If you want to have wisdom, there are two ways of getting wisdom. The first is to study the teaching of the Buddha. You have to learn what the Buddha teaches. Like he said, everything is impermanent, everything is anatta. Everything will give you dukkha, suffering, or hurt you. This is learning to get knowledge. Wisdom is knowledge. And then once you have learned this, the next level is to keep thinking about it so that you don't forget. Because if you just read it once and if you don't think about it again, you can forget. So you want to keep reminding yourself of what the Buddha teaches us to see that everything is anicca, everything is dukkha, everything is anatta. So this is the way we develop wisdom. See? And once we can have this wisdom always maintained in our mind, and then we can use this wisdom in conjunction with our mind with samadhi, because we need a mind with samadhi to stop our defilement. The goal is to use wisdom to stop our defilement with the cooperation of samadhi. You need both wisdom and samadhi to be able to stop your defilement, such as greed, anger, or delusion, for instance.
But usually greed, anger, and delusion rise up during daily activity, not in the meditation.
That's right. So you want to use it when it happens. See? So you have to learn the wisdom first. Yeah, you have to learn the wisdom first to know how to use the wisdom to stop your greed. Once and if you desire to have something, wisdom will tell you whatever things you want, it is only temporary. Sooner you get it, you will lose it one day, sooner or later. And when you lose it, then you become sad or unhappy. If you don't want to be sad or unhappy, then it's better not to have this desire, to have this thing. So you have to think, you have to train your mind to think in this manner, so that when you have greed, then you can teach your mind to stop, because you will see that whatever you want, it will one day make you unhappy, make you sad.
Okay.
So this is something you have to keep training your mind to think in this manner. Think that everything that you think is good for you is really not good for you, because they're only good for you briefly, temporarily, not all the time, because they change, they can disappear. So when that happens, you will lose the happiness from them and you become sad. If you don't want to become sad, then it's better not to have anything. This is wisdom. And once you see this, whether you can stop your greed or not depends on whether you have samadhi or not. If you have no samadhi, even though you know it will hurt you, you say, oh, that's maybe a few years from now. Right now, I need it now. So you take it anyway. And pay the consequence later on. When you lose the thing that you have, that you want to have. But with samadhi, then you say, oh, I don't need anything because I'm happy. My mind is happy having samadhi as a source of happiness. So you can stop your desire, stop your craving easily.
So there is no direct connection of having samadhi at the moment and at the same time having wisdom. Samadhi we are practicing and it reinforces the mind, which is able then to...
Samadhi gives you the strength to stop the mind from being greedy, being angry. But you need wisdom to stop the angry or greedy permanently by seeing that the things that you're angry is something that you cannot do anything about. Like when you're angry at someone because they don't do something for you, but when you look at the truth, you cannot force them to do things for you, right? If they don't want to do it. So you see them as anatta, for instance. Then you can stop your anger. With samadhi, you can stop it. Without samadhi, even though you know you cannot tell them to do what you want, you will still want to try it anyway. So you need both. They're like you need your left hand and right hand to do things efficiently. So you need samadhi and wisdom to get rid of your defilement, get rid of your hate, illusions permanently. But you have to develop them separately. One time you develop samadhi, then the next time you develop wisdom. You can do this alternatively. 1 hour you sit for meditate. When you come on meditation, then you start to thinking in terms of the anicca, dukkha, anatta, to touch your mind that everything will hurt you because they are anicca, they are anatta. And then when you see this thing in your mind all the time, when your defilement comes up, you can stop it right away. Okay, so you need to develop them both. You need to develop them both, but not at the same time. Some people have the misperception that once you have samadhi, wisdom will arise by itself. This doesn't happen.
Exactly. This was what I wanted to clarify. Yeah. Very
because
good.
when you're in samadhi, you have emptiness. Maybe emptiness is a form of wisdom to you also. Can be a form of wisdom that truly there's nothing. Everything is emptiness is the real happiness. That's wisdom. But how do you maintain that? How can you stay with emptiness all the time?
Yeah.
Because your defilement still wants to have things to make you happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can use that emptiness to remind yourself that nothing is good as emptiness. It's as good as emptiness. It's to be alone by yourself and not having anything. That's wisdom. What can you do? But how can you do it? Because your mind keeps going after something all the time. So you need wisdom to tell your mind that the things that your mind go after will hurt you because they are temporary, they are impermanent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. May I ask another question?
Sure, go ahead.
Will it make a difference to take at least 5 precepts every day, or maybe like 6, if I know for sure that anyway I don't kill, steal, and like 5 things I follow? So does it make sense also to take precepts, or just it's okay that I just follow them without taking precepts?
Yeah, the precept is there to guide you really what you should do. But once you know that you're doing it, you don't need to take the precept.
So it doesn't give any special, let's say, merit when I also make this declaration.
No, the declaration doesn't make anything except force you to keep the precept. That's all. If you don't make the declaration, then you can say, "Oh, I don't keep the precept today, so I can steal today, or I can drink today." But the real precept is to know that breaking the precept will only hurt you. Doesn't help you. So it's better not to hurt. It's not to hurt yourself by keeping the precept, by following the precepts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then also you were speaking about Dana in one of your recent talks, maybe like a few days ago, and also today you mentioned, and I'm a bit confused. Once you said that giving Dana doesn't make much a difference. This is mainly for those who want to become monks so that they abandon their possessions, and it doesn't make a change for lay people to make Dana. It is the knowledge, the meditation that makes a difference. Today, anyway, you mentioned it as a skillful action, as an important action. So
yes, for lay people, Dana is there to stop you spending money on something that you don't need to make you happy. Sometimes you go shopping, buy things that you don't need, but it makes you happy. Instead of making yourself happy this way, you should spend your money on charity instead. Because when you spend your money on charity, it's not addictive. But when you spend your money on shopping, it becomes addictive.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes an addiction. And when you have no money to shop, you feel miserable. But if you have no money to give to charity, you won't feel miserable.
But what about developing generosity?
That's what I mean. Generosity is to help other people by sharing what
not for me, not for I, but for others.
Yes, for those who are in need.
Mm-hmm.
If you can afford to share what you have, things that you don't really need to keep, then you should give. You should share with other people. Make other people happy. By making other people happy, you also feel happy from that, which is a better way of spending your money than go shopping. You shopping, you become happy just a few hours, and afterward it disappears, and you want to go and do more shopping to make you happy again. But when you help other people, make other people happy, you can feel happy for many days. Even a month from now, when you think about it, you can still be happy. So this is the purpose of charity for lay people. For them not to be attached to money and not to be greedy for more money. This will stop them from getting greedy for more money. Because when you get money, you give it to charity anyway. So why become greedy for money when you don't need the money? This will then provide you with more time to practice meditation. Instead of going after making money, you don't have to make more money. You only make money enough for you to survive, to live. Then you will have more time to do meditation.
And then the last question, which is actually quite a common question that people like to ask about other people. So it concerns whether we should advise people about practicing meditation, because we all know the benefits of meditation. And if somebody like my husband, he doesn't ask my help to advise him anything,
Yes.
but I know that if sometimes I remind him, he will sit and meditate and he will profit from it. So it helps sometimes, but the other time he may get irritated and I bring his irritated mind. So whether I should really let go and never remind and never try to remind him of the benefits of meditation and that he may do this, or
yes.
better not.
You should treat meditation like money. Do you give money away easily? You only give money only people who really ask for your help, right? And you feel that it's a good cause, then you give it away. You don't just go walk down the street and give money to. You just don't walk down the street and give money away to people. You don't know whether they need it or not.
But this is the husband.
So the same thing. You have to see whether he needs it or not. If he asks you for money, say, honey, can you give me some money? I need to buy some gas with. Then you give it to him, right? But if he doesn't ask, do you give the money to him? He will ask what for, right? I don't need the money. Same way with meditation. If he doesn't ask you for it, why? When you give it, he asks what for? He doesn't know what meditation is.
He does, and sometimes he practices, just he's not consistent. So that's the thing that I don't know, because sometimes he does. He takes my reminder and he takes the practice. But the other time he gets irritated.
What you can do is to get him join you, is to ask you to meditate with you, to more or less sort of keep you company this way. He might do it for your sake, but he might not do it for his sake.
Yeah, so it won't be helpful for him anyway.
It will be helpful because you get him to meditate with you. See? But if you tell him to meditate, he might not want to meditate. But you say, honey, I feel when I meditate with you, I seem to be to do a better job than meditating alone. If you say something like this, then he might want to help you and say, okay, I'll meditate with you. Sometimes people don't want to do things for themselves, but they want to do things for their loved ones.
Yes, true.
So you have to know the trick, how to get people to do what you want them to do. That's
we
all.
try to be very direct and honest with Dhamma. And here...
No, Dhamma is just like anything else. You cannot be direct sometimes. You have to be diplomatic.
I see you. Okay. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Normally for monks, the Buddha forbid us to go give Dhamma talk without being invited. We have to be invited first to give a Dhamma talk before we can give a Dhamma talk. So you have to be invited by your husband first. Honey, will you please teach me how to meditate? Then you can teach him how to meditate. If he doesn't ask you, then it means he doesn't want to learn to meditate from you.
Yeah.
You can try to teach him and see what is his reaction. If it's negative, then you should stop. That's all. At least you can tell yourself that you tried, right? So you won't feel bad now.
He knows already to meditate. He took Vipassana courses. He knows to do.
So what's the problem?
I don't
then?
want to teach him. No way. I don't want to teach him.
You
He
just
already
want him-
takes me as a superior.
You just want him to meditate.
Only a reminder, a friendly reminder, which sometimes he takes for good, sometimes he takes for, I can decide for myself what I do. Why
That's right.
are you telling this to me?
So if that's the case, then you should stop.
Sometimes like this, sometimes like that. Never
Okay.
the same. So I think whether I'm helping him or whether I'm making his mind more disturbed, one time like this, one time like that. This is why I rose the question.
So you just have to look at the result. If it's useful, do it. If it's not useful, then stop.
Yeah, maybe to see more of the chances. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, very good.
Okay. Thank you for coming in and share your question with us. All right. Next, Ajahn Ka from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Good morning or good evening, Ajahn. I'm not practicing very well. I think I'm kind of
You're not
tied
mindful.
down.
You're not training yourself with mindfulness. You let your mind relax, be itself. So you're not forcing it with mindfulness. You have to be proactive with mindfulness. You have to keep just telling yourself, keep watching what you're doing, or keep reciting the mantra. This is practice already. Without you might think practice is sitting down and meditate, but that's only half of the practice. The other half is developing mindfulness all the time before you meditate. And you can do it. It's simple. As soon as you get up, when you open up your eyes, just keep watching your body or keep reciting the mantra. Then you're practicing. You want to move forward, don't you? You have to keep walking, right? If you want to move forward, you cannot stand still or sit down. You won't go anywhere by sitting down. You have to move forward. Keep walking. keep developing mindfulness. This is the way of moving yourself forward in meditation.
So the family responsibilities that is kind of at times, and most of the time these days, is very difficult. So that kind of sucks me right in. But you were saying that even in these situations you can
be mindful. Yeah, you can be mindful with whatever you do, whatever responsibility. If you are mindful, you get things done better than not being mindful. When you're driving, if you're not mindful and being mindful, which is better? Being mindful is better, right? When you're not mindful, you might not get into an accident. If you're mindful, then you can prevent it. If you think you're going too fast, then you can slow down. So you can use mindful with whatever you do. So. And if you can do this, and then when you sit down and meditate, you'll find it easy for you to calm your mind also. Anyway, okay. It's just a thought for you to think about, okay?
Yeah, I think you answered me again.
Right. Okay, next, Nandapat from Bangkok. Do you have any question, Nandapat?
No question ค่ะ ท่านอาจารย์
Okay, Seyuan from Singapore.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn. Yeah, I got two questions today. So one is regards to work, and then another one is family. So for work, I'll be due for some rotation in my job portfolio. So I'll be going to a new government agency. So it will be happening next month. So just want to seek some general advice from Ajahn, like going to a new place, what are the things I should take note of to maintain harmonious relationships with my boss and my colleagues, and there will be some anxiety and so on. So what is some skillful perspectives that I can cultivate entering into this situation?
Well, you should be friendly toward everybody, wherever you are. You be friendly with your co-workers, be friendly with your boss, and be obedient to your boss because he's the one who tells you what to do. That's all. Be obedient and be friendly, and then everything will be okay.
So what about like if you feel anxious about entering into a new environment and having a new job scope and so on? So what is a skillful way to that I can view this?
A skill way to do what?
To handle anxiety entering a new environment and doing a job that I'm not very familiar with.
Well, you have to learn your job. Be honest, work hard. When you're first starting in a new place, you cannot be complacent. You have to work hard. You're a rookie. You have to prove yourself. So you have to work twice as hard. Then everybody will love you, will like you.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. We'll keep that in mind.
Go in early and leave late. Don't go late and leave early.
But Ajahn, you also say don't work so hard because you don't need so much money.
Well, this is a different situation. So you're asking me different questions. So this is a different situation. I just apply them to the same thing. If you ask me generally, yes, don't work too hard. Meditate better. But now you're asking me about getting yourself into a new environment. So this is how you have to do.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. So my second question is with regards to family. So unlike me, my dad has already retired. So quite recently, around I think 3 months. So now he has more time at home. He's been quite active with the house chores. So I just thought of seeking Ajah's advice that as a children, and then now that my dad has more time, what is a good way to involve him to slowly meet the Dhamma, and how can I help him in this respect as a son?
I think you should leave him alone. If he's happy being what he is, then leave him alone. If he wants to learn Dhamma, if he wants to ask you, then you can tell him. Or you can leave Dhamma books around the house in case he got nothing to do and he might pick up the book and study and read it himself. But this is not something you can push people with. Because people are sensitive toward religion matters. And when you teach religion to them, they start to think you're trying to convert them or something, So they might react negatively. So better not to do anything to convert.
In general, this would be the same, right? Like regards to your partner or your friends, even for someone.
Yes, with everybody. Religion is something sensitive. You have to see whether they're interested or not. If they're not interested, then you might try, but just once, to see whether they want to or not. If they don't want, then you can stop. You might say, why don't you come and join our Zoom meeting on Tuesday night? Invite them.
Okay, maybe I'll try that.
If they don't, then okay. So you have done your duty. You have done your job as a Buddhist. You share your Dhamma with other people. But whether they can accept it or not, that's their problem, not yours.
Okay, I understand, Ajahn. No other questions from me. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Fong Xin Yi from Malaysia. Where's your mother?
Good evening, Ajahn. My mother is a bit under the weather, so she's not very well.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So that yes, that brings me to my question. So, like for someone who's feeling not very well, so any methods or what can they do to maintain their mindfulness, because their mindfulness tends to be lacking?
You can do chanting. If you cannot, you can do chanting, or you can do reciting mantra, or you can even sit and meditate. Just keep watching your breath in and out, in and out. It's a method of developing mindfulness or calming your mind. So whichever method you find it suitable for you at the moment, you use that method.
Okay, so that means like because normally when a person is not very well, they tend to maybe have to rest a lot or sleep a lot. So the mindfulness is a bit lacking. So basically we just do what we normally do and try to put in more effort into it.
That's right. If you're sick in bed, you can still do chanting, you can do reciting the mantra, or you can watch your breath. But the problem is you probably fall asleep easier than in other posture. But then it's better than being restless and agitated.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Sammy from Lebanon. Hi, Sammy.
Hello, Ajahn. I just need some guidance on some struggle I've been going through, because so I'm having, like, since I disrobe up to today, some kind of doubt about my commitment to the Dhamma, and how since then up till today I was I felt like I was straying somehow from the Dhamma. So what is your advice on how to remain more consistent on a daily basis?
Well, sometimes your mind can flip-flop. Sometimes it's leaning toward the Dhamma, and sometimes it's running away from Dhamma. So if you can have mindfulness when it's leaning away, you can use much more effort to bring it back in. If you cannot, then you might just say, maybe just take a pause and just let the mind be for a while. If it doesn't want any Dhamma, okay, fine. Maybe after a while, it will then come back again. This is the nature of the mind. Sometimes it goes here and there, and then it wants to come back. Right? The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. But once you got over the fence, then it knows the grass back here is much greener anyway. So it'll come back again. So sometimes if you cannot force it to come back, then you just have to leave it alone for a while. Relax and okay, just don't try to create more stress than is necessary. Sometimes your desire to stick with Dhamma can become a stress, become stressful to you when you cannot do it. So you say, oh, maybe this is the moment to take a break. Take 5, Don't be too serious. And see what happens.
We just accept the way things are.
Yeah.
There's only so much we can do, and we cannot demand the sort of results.
That's right. The result comes from what you can do. If this is all you can do now, then you have to accept the result of your action for now. And maybe later on things will change. It will change. The mind keeps changing back and forth all the time. If you ever notice, if you're here, you want to go there. When you're there, you want to come back.
Exactly. Again. Yeah, it's always like that. Very fickle mind. But I also noticed, and I told you that before, that when I was practicing Vipassana, my mind was much better. This has been happening since 2015, when I started to focus exclusively on samatha for the purpose of jhana. And my mind is not consistent, and it's been a huge struggle. But when I was practicing Vipassana, that was very helpful for me. So do you think it's okay just for a while to go back to that Vipassana practice, which is like, I feel like it kind of helps certain people like who cannot progress in the jhana practice because of some obstacle, I don't know. But for just temporarily kind of apply that kind of medicine for a while.
Yes, you can take a little sideway, do something a little bit different. Maybe the mind wants something a little bit different. If you think it's useful to at least to calm your mind and give your mind something to do. Vipassana is a good alternative if you want to.
Yeah.
As long as you can stay with the Dhamma in different forms, maybe listening to Dhamma talks, reading books, reading Dhamma books, or something like that. If you find you cannot develop mindfulness and meditation, maybe you can come back to reading books, reading Dhamma books, listening to Dhamma talk, or join our Dhamma discussion, things like this, to occupy your mind with something that is not harmful to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I think everybody has asked questions already. So I think we'll go to Facebook now. See if there's any question from Facebook.
Yes, we have 4 questions from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์ 2 questions from Tony Yep. The first question is, Dearท่านอาจารย์, good evening. I would like to ask, Asotapanna have greed, hatred, and delusion. Then to what extent same as Anakami? Canท่านอาจารย์ give an example? Thank you.
Well, Asotapanna still have greed for sex. Asotapanna still have this desire, this craving to have sex. Why an Anagami has no craving for sex anymore? Because an Anagami, every time he sees the body, he sees a super. He sees the unpleasantness of the body. As why the Sotapanna still see the body as being good looking, attractive. So Sotapanna, if he wants to be an Anagami, he has to develop this contemplation on Asupa, on the unpleasantness of the body. Once you see the body as being unpleasant, unattractive, as being disgusting for us, then his desire for sex will be eliminated permanently.
And the second question of Tony Yep is, everything is impermanent, even samadhi also impermanent. So how about mindfulness? Thank you.
Well, they are also impermanent. You cannot be in samadhi forever. You cannot have mindfulness all the time. Sometimes you also lose a little bit mindfulness here and there from time to time.
Next question from Chinese Shin. Ajahn, I have one question. How to deal with the red ant in front of my house? They have been there for months. How to make them move? Thank you, Ajahn.
Why do you want to do anything with them? They're happy there. Leave them alone. If you can leave them for months already, why cannot you leave them like forever? If they don't bother you, if they don't hurt you, why do anything with them?
And next question from Ben Chuan. Good evening,ท่านอาจารย์ According to Vinaya, new ordering, the first 5 years should stay with the teacher. So if I'm in Malaysia and would like to stay with you as my teacher, how to make it possible? Please advise. Thank you.
Well, you can read my books, and if you have any question, you can send in your question.
And one more question from Yato. Namaste, Ajahn. I have a question. There are two ways to be a Sotapanna. It's Sotapanna Magga and Sotapanna Phala. What is the difference?
Well, the Magga is the cause, the cause, and the Phala is the fruit. It's like planting a tree and bearing the fruit. The Magga is like when you plant a tree. You have to plant a tree first before you can get the fruit from the tree, right? Without a tree, you won't get any fruit, right? Like apples, if you want to have apple fruit, you have to first plant the apple tree. Planting the apple tree is called Magga. Okay? And when the tree bear the apple, then this is the Phala. So for Sotapanna, he has to develop Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. This is Magga. Okay. And once he have developed enough Sila, Samadhi, and Panya for the level of Sotapanna, then the Phala or the fruit of the practice will bear fruit. Okay.
And one more question, Ajahn. A question from Trendy Wu. I was told that Arahant still make mistake. What's Ajahn answer to this? Thank you.
I don't know. I think we all make mistakes sooner or later. But maybe not intentional. With an Arahant, I don't think his mistake is intentional. He might walk and might step on a banana peel and slip or fall or something like that. But it's not intentional. It's accidental. Okay.
That's all,ท่านอาจารย์
Anybody would like to ask any more questions? You're welcome. Evie, okay? Evie.
Yeah, Ajahn. Ajahn, I want to ask. Sometimes I miss a lot of important things because I keep my mind don't think too much, all right? But it turns out that it is also wrong. I am often angry by my husband or my mother-in-law because of this. Sometimes I am addicted to meditation, so I lose track of time and I start to get bored with all external things because external thing is very noisy for me, and if I am alone, it's very good for me. But the opportunity to be alone is very rare. Like tonight, I am half hour late because join Zoom because I just finished meditation and my mind is blank. I don't even know what to asking. I have to think and wake up my mind and I can start zooming. So how can I balance all this, Ajahn? On this side, I am trying to stop my mind to thinking. On the other side, I am required to always remember the task and have to think.
Well, it's like driving a car. You have to park a car sometime and you have to drive a car sometime, right? So you have to know when the right time to park and when the right time to drive. That's all. Your mind is like a car. So when you park, you meditate. You want to park your mind, you meditate. When you want to work your mind, then you stop meditating. Do whatever work you have to do.
And can this, if I want to meditate, I just meditate. If I want to think, I must to think. But can it make our mind get difficult to concentration because sometimes we think, sometimes we stop, sometimes we think, sometimes we stop. Like a machine, if we start and get off, start again and off again, can the machine will be broken, right?
It means you're not going anywhere in your practice because you're walking 2 steps forward and then you're walking 2 steps backward.
So how can I do it?
You have to go live alone and then practice all the time.
Yeah, I think this is it's very good to living alone, but still impossible lah. Still cannot listen. And I also have a stupid thought that is quite terrible. Every time my mind starts to go silent, almost empty, my breath starts to stop. At this point, the fear arises. Because of a term, if your mind is empty, you will be possessed by another creature. The body is taken to another creature, and the mind begins to move again. This fear present itself. How should I erase this theory from my mind permanently?
Just use the mantra, recite the mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto.
Bhutto until the mind is empty.
Yes.
Okay, I try it again.
Okay.
But usually, every time the mind stops blank, the theory can come up again. Maybe this is my
Then
karma.
you use the mantra again. As soon as you start thinking, then you continue on with your mantra again. It's like when your car keeps moving, you use the brake to stop it. And when you stop using the brake and the car starts moving again, then you step on the brakes again.
Oh, it's not my karma. Then
No, it's your laziness. It's your laziness to use your mindfulness. All right.
Yeah, Ajahn, I will try it.
Okay. Next, anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody like to ask any question? Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I just have a question that pops up in my mind. Ajahn just now touched upon developing mindfulness. So usually when we say we are developing mindfulness, we are trying to actually keep recalling what we are doing at the present moment. For example, watching the breath or doing the chanting the mantra. We have to remind ourselves that we are watching the breath, for example. So it has an element of being recalling what we are doing. It's like remembering.
Not remembering, just watching what you are doing at the moment. You don't recall what happened in the past. You stay in the present. Just keep watching what your body is doing right now.
Yeah, it's like watching what we are doing and not let it slip and go to
the past or to the future, or to think about any other thing.
Okay. So what's the difference between, is there a difference between mindfulness and awareness? Being aware and being mindful, is this interchangeable?
I don't know. You have to look up in the dictionary, I guess.
Okay. All right. I think maybe I need to do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that's all. Huh?
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Anybody? Oh, Karen. Go ahead, Karen.
Hello again, Ajahn. I have a question about meditation. I've been meditating quite a bit more and it getting a little better. I have noticed when I reach a calm that my body gets cold, and I wondered if that is normal. Is it just normal for your body to change temperature when it calms down? Is that I find it distracting a little bit. So I'm not sure if it's something to do with defilements or just natural body reaction.
I find out normally when you sit and meditate, your body heats up, not getting colder. But I don't know, maybe after your mind becomes calm, it might cool down also, because there were less mental stress. When you meditate, you are stressed, you are fighting against your defilement, your thoughts. So you might use a lot more energy then. But once the mind becomes calm, then you don't need to use any more energy. Then maybe the temperature might drop. But this is not important. The important is to have your mind to become calm. That's the goal of meditation. The other thing just consider it to be a byproduct, which doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I do get really warm. It'll kind of fluctuate. So I just wondered if, what that was. Okay, thank you. Just don't worry about it.
Okay, don't worry about it. No, not important.
Okay, thank you.
The goal is to make your mind calm, peaceful, and happy. All right. Anybody?
We have another 2 questions from Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
Yes. First question from Trendy Wu. Of what opinion does Ajahn have on lay follower offering fruit and food in front of Buddha statue in temple and in the house? Thank you.
It means they are ignorant. Then they have no wisdom. How can a statue eat anything in the first place, right? And the Buddha taught the way of offering to him is by way of practicing, following his teaching. This is the right way of offering to the Buddha, is to follow his teaching, like practice dana, practice sila, and practice bhavana. Not giving food, to the Buddha statue. It's a ritual which bears no benefit.
The last question from Ting Ting Loon. I reached a meditation state at a few months ago where I have melting sensation or heat from my brain drop to my whole body. I was practicing Samadhi meditation at that time. My spine became straight and my mind have yellow light shining very bright, and I can feel that my body was cut out and cannot feel anything. What am I experiencing, Ajahn?
Just mental imagination. Don't pay attention to it. It's not what you want from your meditation. It means your mind isn't yet calm, so you should continue on meditating. It's just a mental imagination. The mind just creating this imagination to distract you from your meditation.
That's all, Ajahn.
Okay, check from Vancouver.
Ajahn, I have a comment and a question. Just now you were talking about like people meeting in the airport, meeting together and being happy, and that's often the side that we see on that's often what the media trying to, I think all the media trying to show us, and you're the only one, this is the only place that I can hear the truth, like about what happens after. Like nobody will show you what happens afterwards, like after the happiness of the meeting. But you show, you're the only one that tell the reality, Ajahn, that it's
this is the way of vipassana. When you look at everything, you should see the other side too, not just the one side. Our delusion forces us to look only at the pretty side, the good side, the happy side.
Right.
It doesn't allow us to look at the sad side, the downside of life. But in life, there's an upside and there's also a downside.
Yeah, this is the channel to balance our mind, Ajahn, to get the truth.
To prevent you from falling into the trap. Happiness is a trap in which you will fall into the trap of suffering. Happiness is just a trap. Once you get into that trap, then you get suffering afterwards. What happened after a few days, you have to leave, and you say bye-bye, and you shed a few tears, right? But you're happy to go. You don't want to stay any longer.
But no, you don't get to see that side of the, like in the news, for example, nobody will show you that. Nobody will show you like, oh, after the happiness, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, you're the only one that tell us the truth.
Well, they want to bring you good news, make you happy when you see them. Because there are so many bad news already, so they thought maybe they'll bring you some good news also to balance out the news.
I have a question, Ajahn. I think I've heard you talk about a few times, like the for being the Sotapan, the first that we focus on the first factor and the Sakaya Ditti, and the second and the third it's automatic, right? Ajahn, it's sort of like following, like after you can see that the 5 khandhas is
That's
not,
right.
you know?
Because when you can see the 5 khandhas in anicca, dukkha, anatta, it means you see the Dhamma. And by seeing the Dhamma, you know that the Dhamma comes from the Buddha. This teaching comes from the Buddha. So you have no doubt in the Buddha and in the teaching, whether they are real or not. They're happening right in your mind. And the one who can see the Dhamma and the Buddha is the Sotapanna, which is a noble disciple, the Sangha. So you have no doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha forever. You don't need to go to India to dispel your doubt. Even if you go to India, it will still not dispel your doubt because you don't see the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha anyway. You just see places where the Buddha used to stay, used to be. But that is more historical, not live, like when you practice vipassana. When you have to let go of your attachment to the 5 khandhas, you see dukkha and the cessation of dukkha. Once you have achieved, you are letting go of your 5 khandhas. When you are attached to the 5 khandhas, like when you are attached to your body, when it's being exposed to danger, you have dukkha, you have stress in your mind. But once you use wisdom to teach you that the body is not you, and the body is temporary, it has to die one day. And when you accept this truth, then your dukkha, the stress in your mind will disappear. So you see it in real time. So you have no doubt in the teaching of the Buddha, the 4 Noble Truths. And you have no doubt in the Buddha who teach this teaching. Without him, this teaching won't be around for us to learn and practice. So once you get this, you also know that the dukkha arises from your action, from your mental and your physical action. If you think of doing bad karma or did bad karma, you have dukkha in your mind. You feel bad. So anytime or when you decide for something that is impermanent and you don't get it, you also get dukkha, right? When you lose something. So when people feel bad, it's usually because they lose something or they did something bad. So and the way to make yourself don't have any dukkha is not to do anything bad and not to have any attachment to anything, to any desire for anything. So you don't need to perform this rituals like some people do when they're not happy, when they're sick. Sometimes they offer something to the spirit, to the God, or to whatever, to make them feel good. Yeah, that's all. But you know, this is not the way to do it. The way to do it is not to do any bad karma or not to cling to anything that you lose. You have to lose, or have any desire to have something back. When you lose something and you want it back, that makes you feel bad. But if you're not attached to them, when you lose them, you don't feel bad. You accept that things come and go. Things are temporary. This is how a Sotapanna will deal with things. So they don't feel bad because they accept the truth of anicca. Constantly, things keep suddenly changing, come and go, rise and cease. Everything, your money come and go, rise and cease. Your income sometimes more, sometimes less. You don't have to go to do some prayer or some offering to the spirit to make your money keep coming back and not going away from you. Because this is reality. This is the nature of things. Things are constantly moving up, moving down, come and go. So you don't do any rituals to make you happy, to perform any rituals, pray to the Buddha statue or whatever, to make you feel happier, because there is hope. Once you pray to the Buddha statue, then things might get better, right? Your sickness might get better, something like that. But when you see the truth that your body is aging, subjected to aging, sickness, and death, and nobody can stop it. Even the Buddha could not stop his own body from getting old, getting sick, or die. So you don't perform any ritual. You just keep the precept and don't hurt other people, and let go. Practice letting go of everything. So these are the two other factors. Doubt in the Buddha Dhamma and doubt in the benefits of keeping the sila or not breaking the precepts.
Ajahn, like the ritual one is actually doubt of the precept.
Because when you did something wrong, you feel bad, so you go and do some rituals to make you feel good. But if you didn't do anything bad, then you don't feel, then you won't feel any, you won't feel bad. So there's no need to do any rituals. People do rituals to get rid of their bad feelings when they're not feeling well and they don't know what to do. So they go do some rituals to make them feel better.
Ajahn, is clinging consider a bad karma, like clinging to people and things?
Yes, it's defilements, clinging to, because you have cravings when you cling to something because you want them to stay with you, to be with you, to give you happiness. Like your husband, you cling to him, you want to keep him to stay with you. You don't want to lose him, because when you lose him, then you're alone, then you become lonely. But by trying to cling to him, when he wants to leave you, then you will have dukkha. But if you see that he's impermanent, he can go, he can leave you any day, and you don't cling to him, so when he leaves you, you won't feel any sadness, because you know that this is the way things gonna work sooner or later. There will be separation, right, from the one you love, from the things you love. But you still want to cling to the things you love, cling to the thing you like, the people you love. So when there's separation, then you have misery, you have sadness. So you have to let go of everything, because nothing lasts forever, even your own body. So this is the Sotapanna wisdom on this level. We see anicca, we see impermanence in things and people.
Ajahn, you after that you always talk about sexual desire, right? But the fifth factor is also automatic. Like if you can get rid of the sexual desire, is it the same?
Yes, the fourth and fifth, the sexual and the feeling of unsatisfaction. Really, that's what it means. when you're not satisfied, that's because you want sex and you haven't yet got any sex, so you become dissatisfied. You're not happy.
Oh. So you tackle the sexual desire, and the fifth fetters will come, like it's a.
Yeah, they come together.
Come together.
When you have no sexual desire, then you won't have this feeling of emptiness or void or loneliness.
Oh.
Even people when they don't have any desire for sex, they can live alone. But as soon as they have desire for sex, they feel lonely. They have to have somebody to accompany them.
Oh.
So they come together really. So you only tackle one, and the other will fall in place.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No sexual desire, no sense of loneliness. You're lonely because you want sex. Yeah? So when you don't get sex, you feel lonely.
But Ajahn, like sometimes, like old people seems, I don't know, but like elderly, they seems like, to me, they say that they don't have sexual desire, but they feel lonely.
They're forced not to have sexual desire because of the circumstance. But if they have the opportunity, the sexual desire will come back up again.
Oh. So it's still sexual desire that caused the loneliness.
Yeah, it's only temporarily dormant because of the circumstances.
Oh. Okay.
So it's the condition, hey Ajahn, like this high in our mind, but when the conditions comes out, then you will see that all this come back. The
Yes, you need to have a healthy and strong body. Yeah. That's why people want to stay healthy and strong and young. Then the sexual desire will not be eliminated, will not pause. But when you're old and you're sick, then you won't have any desire for sex.
Yeah, but because of the conditions. So in the future, when you get a new body, so this one will come back again.
Right. Because it hasn't yet been. It can only be eliminated by asupa.
Yeah, that's from the wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah, from the wisdom part. Other thing will only just curb it or stop it temporarily. But when the condition is right, it will rise again.
Yeah.
Like the grass, when there's no rain, the grass die, right? But after you have rain, then the grass will grow back up again. Yeah. It's like that. But if you pull the root out of the grass, then the root of the grass out of the ground, then there will be no grass anymore growing.
Yeah,
that's wisdom. See, you have to uproot the root of your sexual desire, which is not being able to see a super in the body. And you see a super in the body every time, then the sexual desire cannot come up.
That's the permanent, yeah.
So you have to keep contemplating on super. Until it becomes second nature in your mind. Every time you see a body, you see a super.
Yeah. And so now I'll leave my wife.
Yeah, she'll leave you too. and both of you will be happy. Both of you will be happy getting rid of each other and not getting mad at each other at the same time. Happy for each other. Oh, you have finally release yourself from the slave of sexual desire.
Right. Like I think it was Bhante Kassapa. I think in the Buddha's time, he and his wife, they're
separated.
Yeah. And it was a good separation.
Even in modern time, one of the Ajahn disciple Ajahn also had a wife before he became a monk, and they both practiced meditation. So then they decided it's time for them to take the ordination. So both of them separated, and they have no children. So they gave all their possession to other people, whoever needs them. They just put up a notice in the village and say, anybody need buffalo? Anybody need a house? Anybody come and get it?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know about this story, Ajahn. Oh.
Yeah, his name is Ajahn Prom, which is Ajahn Prom in Thai. And he also became a noble disciple.
Oh, wow.
Oh. So they become a monk and nun?
And his wife became nun, Mechi, I think.
Mechi,
Oh. Yeah. That's something to aspire to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Anybody else would like to ask any question? We still have, we are run out of time. It's 2 hours already. But anyway, if anybody still wants to have another question, you're welcome to.
Can it be from Facebook?
Facebook, you have a question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
We have 6 questions from Facebook,ท่านอาจารย์
All right.
3 questions from Nat Panita. The first question is, thank you very much for your teaching,ท่านอาจารย์. Is taking vitamin or mineral supplements are considered obstacle to the practice in the case that one is sick and found out that deficiency of such when be replaced could regain normal physical function?
No, you can consider it to be food to support your life, your body. So it shouldn't be any obstruction.
Second question, how about consumption of such mineral and vitamin is better in the form of natural organic food that are more potent with natural enzyme and in addition can heal ill sick body instead of depend on taking vitamin tablets. It is an obstacle for mental training if one moderately careful about eating healthy, spending resource in moderation, proper time and money for it. Thank you.
Well, it depends on how much time you have to spend on it. So you want to spend as little time as possible in dealing with your body. Make it the most the simplest way is the better. The best way is the simplest way. Because regardless of how well you look after it, it's gonna end up dying anyway in the end. So if you spend too much time on looking after your body, you might lose your time looking after your mind, which is more important. So you want to spend the minimal amount of time on your body and spend the maximum amount of time on your mind. This is the general guideline. Don't spend too much time on your body. Spend more time on your mind. Spend as much time as possible on your mind.
And the third question is the answer applied to the same group of people who are sick versus healthy?
I don't know. It's you just have to look after your body. That's all. The best way you can, and with the least amount of time you can. That's the ideal way of looking after your body.
And next question from Trendy Wu. At the Tevalada temple, the Thai will always take a bit of all dana food and offer them in the front of Buddha statue. Why is this done? Thank you.
They've been taught this way, so it became a tradition for people they think this is paying respect to the Buddha or honoring the Buddha, which they didn't know the real way of honoring the Buddha, and that is to follow his teaching.
Next question from Tae Ting Loon. Is walking meditation a requisite before doing sitting meditation?
Not necessarily. If you can start by sitting meditation, you can go ahead and sit and meditate. But if you find that when you sit, you become sleepy, so you might want to get up and do walking meditation first to get rid of your sleepiness.
Next question from Yapto. Namaste, Ajahn. I have another question. What is Vichikicha and Silabbata Pramad? Can you give an example in real life? Thank you.
Vichikicha means doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. This is the second factor of enlightenment. So right now you're not sure whether there's a real Buddha or not, whether his teaching is real, is good, that it works for you or not to get rid of your dukkha. You don't know this, you can be doubtful. But once you practice, then you can eliminate this doubt from your mind. The second one, Silabbata Paramasa. Like I say, some translate as the attachment to rites and rituals, like giving food to the Buddha image, this, to make them feel good. Yeah. But this is not the way to make you feel good. The way to feel good is to keep the precept.
And last question from Tay Ting Loon. How to tolerate bad parents? Both of them are separate years ago. One of them is an alcoholic. Another one is full of sexual lust. As a child from both of these parents, how should I take care of them without potentially going insane, dealing with their negativity? Thank you.
Well, you should just ignore their negativity and focus on their bodies. Look after their bodies, but don't go after their mind. Their mind is something you cannot do anything about. You can only look after their body. Give them food, give them medicine, give them clothing, give them a place to stay if they need a place to stay. But as far as their mind is concerned, there's nothing you can do. So ignore their mind and just concentrate on looking after their bodies.
And one more question,ท่านอาจารย์.
Okay.
Question from Aseng. Prajaan, for an Ariya to go through rebirth, will he or she remember that he or she is an Ariya? Thank you.
Well, this is not remembering. Once you are a noble person, you are noble by your nature. You have transformed your mind from the ordinary person to become a noble person. So it's not a matter of remembering. It's a matter of having it, maintaining it in your mind all the time, permanently.
Ajahn,
Okay.
one more question.
Okay.
Question from Su Lang Ui. Dear Ajahn, what should I do if I'm stepped on a snail? Thank you.
Step on snail and kill the snail.
Yes.
Just, if it's not intentional, then you're not breaking the precept. It's accidental. So don't worry about it. Except remind yourself to be more mindful, be more careful. And think of yourself as being a snail. What happens if somebody steps on you? Even though not intentional, it can still hurt you. So try to be more mindful, more careful when you walk, when you do things, so that you won't hurt other beings, even though not by intention. You're still hurting other beings. But it's not considered to be bad karma or breaking the precept, as far as the mind is concerned.
That's all,ท่านอาจารย์.
Okay. Anybody else? One last call.
Evie.
Okay, Evie.
Yeah, Ajahn, this is a final question, but I think it's important to me. Ajahn, what if what I say is the truth, but people don't like to hear it, and to them this is look cruel, but they agree more with softer words, look good, but it's a lie. Because I just experienced it and they complain to me because of this. Am I do wrong?
Yes, you should keep quiet. You should keep quiet. Even the truth sometimes hurts, and you don't want to hurt people with the truth either. Not unless you really have to speak, then you speak. But if there's no need for you to say the truth, then just keep quiet, better.
is the service of installing a wallpaper. I feel this person is too expensive because I have compared it with other, and I'm honest with this person that he is more expensive. But my brother, my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law, it just say, you just say our roof is leaking lah, and we don't put wallpaper anymore. And it's true that the person was offended because I said he was more expensive. Should I lie to that people can be happier to hear it?
No,
But
you should not lie, but you should not say, you just keep quiet. That's the best way. If you lie, you're doing bad karma. If you say the truth, you are hurting other people. So the only option you have is just to keep quiet.
But this is my task to find wallpaper person, right? How can I keep quiet, Ajahn? This is my task to find that people.
Bhutto. Recite Bhutto. When there's the urge to speak, just keep reciting Bhutto. If you say something else, say talking about the weather, talking about the roof, talking about the rain, whatever.
Okay, Ajahn. Next time, keep quiet is better.
Okay, silent is golden, you know?
Yeah. Okay, Ajahn, thank you.
Okay, one more question from Sulan. She just came in. Any question from you, Sulan? We are closing now.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I joined the session quite late. Yeah, because I actually stepped on the snow and I feel quite bad. Yeah, but I saw that you just answered already. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you very much for all of you for your participation. I hope this meeting will benefit you somewhat and help you advance in your practice.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. In the meantime, stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And I'll see you next week. If nothing changes, if everything is okay, I'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
ท่านอาจารย์
Thank you, Tanajan. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Edwin.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Edwin. Thank you,